March 21. You are watching the Market Minute with Krycopter. I am Krycopter. Interesting day today. Tomorrow, FOMC, one of the biggest, most anticipated ones in recent memory. So today was markets pricing in a quarter rate hike, and I think what we saw a lot of today was short covering. Everybody's kind of anticipating that quarter rate hike and repositioning for it. VIX down another 10% at 21. There is complacency in the market again. A few things I want to talk about. I'll start off today with gold. Gold down about 2%, 40 bucks, down about $40. Interestingly enough, Bitcoin held today. Changing of the guards? Maybe. We'll see. Tomorrow's going to change everything. Tomorrow will change everything. Today was more positioning. If you notice early this morning, about, I don't know, hour in, ES and NASDAQ and Q, the futures for the NASDAQ and the SPOOs, S&P 500, got some serious sell orders. Just bitch slapped this mark about 4 or 5 different times. But relatively key levels held today. 28. ES kind of lingered around 40.18. 40.11 was big, and then 40.05 was huge. They tried to bitch slap it down. They basically bitch slapped it all the way from 28 to 05 with a couple pit stops in between. But when they got down there, they really tried to bitch slap it, and the market just absorbed everything they had to offer. Absorbed it. Got really choppy early, and then NVIDIA came out. And like I mentioned this a few times, AI is not hype. It's real. It's here to stay. The presentation proved that. They made multiple new partnerships. Let's see, I had a list pulled up here, but it just disappeared. Microsoft made announcements today, partnering with NVIDIA. Google opened up Bard. That's huge. So when they do that, basically they're going, look, we want all of you guys to use our AI system. We want you to build on our bring Bard to enterprise platforms and integrate into, company systems. If they do that early by giving open access early, people can test it out and they could see, and then they can come in with some sort of subscription fee. Excuse me. After they capture a ton of market share. I mean, hell of a strategy. Right now, it's a big expense. The build out's gonna be huge. NVIDIA's gonna benefit hugely from it, which is why NVIDIA was relatively flat and sold off early. Basically any presentation that a company has recently has been sell at the start, and then if nothing material comes out of it, then you kind of have an event off volume day, which basically everybody who's bought into the, hey, you got a presentation coming up, there's an event happening, there could be something big that we don't know about, so buy into it. And then as the presentation starts and carries on, if nothing really material comes out of it, and it's just kind of like, hey, we're working on this new stuff, and things are good and not bad. Basically, if it's more of just what everybody already knows, but they're kind of laying out a few new programs or products or whatever it is, usually presentation days are sell days. When the presentation for NVIDIA started, it was about 260. The presentation started not much, and then they started releasing, trickling out a little bit of AI info. Google came out separate and said Bard is going to be open. NVIDIA kind of sold off on that at about 254. But then it was crystal clear that, Google and NVIDIA is going to use NVIDIA. Microsoft is going to use NVIDIA. There's a couple smaller names. I can't believe this thing disappeared on me. I don't know where it went. Sorry, I had all these NVIDIA things up here. All these partnerships, and it disappeared on me. But basically, when it was crystal clear that demand is already booming for the AI products, NVIDIA announced new chips to support AI. All these, I'm so annoyed this disappeared. Sorry. AT&T wants to get involved with NVIDIA for AI build out. That's funny. No one was thinking about them at all, so that's a new one. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure chooses NVIDIA Data Center Acceleration Program. That's fucking huge. Microsoft to bring industrial metaverse and AI to hundreds of millions of enterprise users via Azure Cloud. What? NVIDIA launches DGX Cloud, giving every enterprise instant access to AI supercomputer from a browser. Huh? I think there's a couple more of these. So, I'm going to read this one again because this is. Remember, we were talking 2-3 weeks ago. Everybody thinks NVIDIA is super overpriced and PE is way too high and they need to be cut in half. Yeah, well, no, because the market is forward looking, and the market was basically thinking if AI is real, this is multi-billion-dollar stuff here. NVIDIA is going to be a huge beneficiary of it, and now we're here. So if you sold into that scare of PE being too much, whatever, Tesla's PE at one point was over 1,000, and people were still buying it, calling it the future. That was at $100. It went to 4,000 before splits. Just, you gotta have a little bit of vision. You gotta have a little bit of an open mind with these things. So, we saw what AI could do when ChatGPT kind of blew up, and then it was, all right, well, how big can this industry be? And we didn't know. So why would you sell or bail or short NVIDIA if you don't know the answers? You know it's going to be huge. That's for sure. So, and today is now the news of it, and NVIDIA rallied all the way back up, closed near or at highs at 263.92. I think it closed that was the high of the day. So rallied $10 off all that news. I know there's more in here, but you get it. NVIDIA and Microsoft to bring the industrial metaverse and AI to hundreds of millions of enterprise users via Azure Cloud. And that's Microsoft's cloud name. Hundreds of millions of enterprise users. Do you know how to price that? Nope. All I know is that NVIDIA is set to make a shit ton of more money off an entire new industry. I was pounding the table on this thing when everybody was calling for death at 220. Now it's at 260, and it's probably going back over 300. This is like industry changing stuff. This is a whole new aspect of business that they're now building out, and I've been saying this for weeks since AI kind of came out, is They will be the biggest beneficiary of all the AI build out. And here we go. Oracle, Microsoft. I mean, AT&T, no one saw that one coming. I think there's another big one. OpenAI, Microsoft to partner with AI startup accelerator Neo. Adobe, NVIDIA partner to unlock power of generative AI. Adobe. So Adobe, Oracle, Microsoft, Google. I sound like Russ Gerber. Google. So AI's here to stay, people. I tried to warn you. But the cool part is, I mean, we're still at the forefront of growth on this thing, and I need to figure out who else will be a benefactor of this. Because all these other chip makers, I know Taiwan made some sort of deal yesterday. I forget with who. Taiwan Semiconductors, that is the company. They look like a massive breakout on their chart. They're going to be a benefactor. I wonder if these, like Lam is going to be, but right now it's the big boys. Taiwan Semiconductors and NVIDIA. AI, the company. The C3.ai. They were up, with their partnership, 8% today. I mean, these are all untapped revenues, and NVIDIA doesn't, I mean, they already approved that mixed shelf offering. When was that? I kind of forgot about that day. That was when everybody was going nuts. Is that February? So they have the resources to build all this out without damaging their own stock, without doing anything crazy, to tap into mega profits. So AI is here to stay. Don't be fooled. So that was cool. That rallied the market, essentially. NVIDIA's reversal. Microsoft was also down, I think, $2 or $3. They finished up $1. I mean, it was down 7 yesterday for God knows what reason. Oh, I know why. Because this market's a fucking rotation. It's a carousel of money. So what they tried to do today, and I mentioned this yesterday with Apple. Apple looked like a massive breakout on the chart, on the daily yesterday. They did try to kill it early. They tried to do the false breakout, slam it down, but cooler heads prevailed, and this thing looks, I mean, 160 tomorrow is not out of the question. Then, all bets are off with Powell. No chart will matter after 1 o'clock tomorrow. It just won't. News breaks charts. Always know that. You can kind of find support areas here and there, and target areas to get in, get out, but your Bollinger Bands, your the MACD, all that stuff, RSI will all just it'll be off the charts in whatever direction, and then the market will have to level itself out a little bit. So just know that. So, I mean, 160 tomorrow morning is not out of the question. That's only, another $1 higher. And then, then we find out what happens with Powell. Shifting gears a little bit, I've been talking about this stock now since $6, and now it's $11.60. Enovix. This is another one. I still think it's early as hell in the game. TJ Rogers bought another $1 million worth of shares yesterday. The guy is just a baller of balls. I didn't mean to say that, but I actually kind of like it. The baller of balls. Short interest on this is still 19 mil, $157 million float, or million share float. I said one day we're going to wake up, this thing's going to be $2 higher, and I think we're about there. A lot of these shorts are now caught off sides. They came out, I gotta read this tweet. They came out with, so this is why the Great Reset in January was so epic, because now they have a competent team who know how to market themselves, who know how to talk about, what they're doing, how quickly they're doing it. Just go to their Twitter account, you'll see just the total sentiment change on their Twitter. They only have 4,100 followers. This thing's early still. In Q4 22, our development team continued to work on our next generation node EX 1.5. And at CES in January, we demonstrated a smartwatch from a leading brand running on a EX 1.5 battery cell. Read more about it. And then they got a shareholder letter that was out today. Or actually last month, but recycle what's known. And then, this thing's huge, so read through it. They have everything laid out for you. They don't tell you which company it was, but if you look at it, you can kind of tell. These guys are about to tap into a $23 billion mobile computing battery TAM. That's not including their watches. If they get 6% of this thing, they're already kind of priced at $2 billion, and they're going to get a lot more than 6% of this funnel, because they literally have the best battery tech I've ever seen. It changes everything we know about batteries, and anybody who wants to argue that Tesla makes their own batteries, well, first off, you're wrong. Secondly, those batteries are trash next to this. This solves battery fires. It solves it. It's done. It's over. So if they continue to perform, continue to successfully scale this thing, there's no reason you wouldn't want to have this battery in any one of your products, iPhones, anything. It doesn't get hot. It recharges at 80% in, what do they do, 2 minutes or something? 80% in 2 minutes. If they scale this to go EV, imagine recharging your EV to 80%, and fine, that one's probably going to take a little longer because it's bigger, but 5 minutes. Game changing. And if you crash, you don't start on fire. Massive. And what? Tesla's $500 billion company, 700 now. I don't even know. Something ridiculous. So if all these, even if they capture one EV vehicle and it performs well, everybody's going to switch to these guys. This could be a $100 billion company easily. It's 50x from here. Do the math. If you don't believe me, then that's fine. But it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. And the conviction in the CEO buying, I think he owns like 23 million shares now or something crazy. That's the type of conviction I like to buy into. So take a look at it. You'll love it. Not financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just a guy talking shit into a microphone for entertainment reasons, but I'm buying every dip on this thing. That's just the bottom line. I think that's kind of all I wanted to talk about today. AI is real. Enovix is finally on the verge of destroying the shorts. Oh yeah, that was it. I've never even heard of this person, but they came out with the most ridiculous short report on the stock AI and on Enovix and a couple other names. And one of their first things it just shows you how little they know about about this battery and the technology behind it. Let's see if I can find it really quick. But they basically said it's like an ordinary battery. Who cares? So it's just lazy. That's just lazy reporting. Invest special. He's got a real. Just look him up. Invest special, and then look at. I mean, you can tell. You can tell when people just talk their book when they're that lazy with their reporting. It's just lazy. Go look it up. Invest special. I mean, you can tell by his picture. He's an interesting cat, but anyways, it's one of the most lazy short reports, and it's literally that guy's probably short a lot of this, and now it's hurting. So let's put out a short report. That was yesterday, and then I think it early on kind of got whacked. Yeah, it's down yesterday about 30%, 30 cents. But TJ Rogers, the CEO of the company, bought another 69,000 shares yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that the CEO probably knows more than this guy and all these other people who still think this thing's going back down to $5. I highly, highly doubt it. Something catastrophic will have to happen, but I guess all things are possible, but not likely on this one. I think that'll do. Tomorrow, FOMC, we're here. We're finally here. Everybody's expecting a quarter point. If they don't, even if they do, I think 4,100 in the SPX is not out of the question. If they do a half, then I think 3,900 is not out of the question. I mean, we basically pinned at 4,000. 40.02 is where we officially closed, but I think we can have a 100-point day tomorrow. With the amount of positioning right now is skewed to the downside. So if we're not down 100 right off the bat, I think a lot of that volume comes off and it adds a tailwind and sends this thing way higher. And then we I to be honest, I'm shocked that we're at 4,000. We basically just had a giant banking crisis, and inflation's probably going back through the roof. But everybody bought on the fact that raising rates this quickly broke a lot of banks, and now they think Powell's would be idiotic to raise more, causing more pain on the banks, which, sometimes you just gotta let these things fucking fail. That's the only way you rebuild this thing the correct way, and if you don't do that, then you just add to the problems. You kick the can down the road, and something's gonna break later, and it's gonna be bigger. Oh wait, we shouldn't have bailed anybody out. Should have let it fail. It probably would have been a devastating 2 or 3 years, but as things got rebuilt. But after that, we'd be on a solid foundation. We wouldn't be $31 trillion in debt. The Fed balance sheet wouldn't have to increase $300 billion in 1 week because more banks failed. We were just exacerbating the problem, kicking it down the road. And when you look at the age of most of these people in office or in the Fed, they're getting old. They don't care. As long as it doesn't happen on their watch, so their legacy is good. Even though we'll always remember who caused what and what stupid policies did it. And we're in stupid policy land right now. So, I mean, I don't think we should be here, but we are. So, market's never wrong until it is. And, we'll see with I almost called him Bernanke. Jeez, that showed my age. So let's see. Be safe tomorrow. Don't put any big positions on. If you do, make it a straddle. Make it close to the money as possible. I think we'll get a big move, but this market's sicko land. It's a carousel of money. going into one sector, out of the other, and then rotate back. So good luck. Hit subscribe, tell your friends. Thanks for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow. Good luck. Be safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow.